But for now, let's bring you up to date with some of the footballing events across the country this afternoon, starting with the headlines in the Scottish Premier League. And at East End Park this afternoon, Ian Durrant tucked away his first goal for 3.5 years to put Kilmarnock ahead against Dunfermline after 33 minutes. And the midfielder scored again 11 minutes into the second period. Gary Holt has added a third. Killie on course then to move to within 2 points of Rangers. Celtic, meantime, keep up the chill after 47, and Craig Easton added a third in 56. These are the full-time pictures at East End Park. Dunfermline have been beaten by Kilmarnock 3-0 today. Ian Durrant after 33 and again in 56, and Gary Holt has made it after 77 has made it 3-0 for Kilmarnock. So an excellent performance from Bobby Williamson's side, because they've started in the last 3 weeks without a victory in 3, but that's put matters right, and those Killie fans will make the journey back to Kilmarnock with a smile on their faces, no doubt. Our big match today has been at East End Park. It's Dunfermline against Kilmarnock. Rob McLean's our commentator, and a game you will be able to see tonight. He has the details on that one.
Hazel Kilmarnock moving to within 2 points of leaders Rangers at the top of the Scottish Premier League, with a win against Dunfermline which was in the end pretty convincing. 3-0, 2 of them for Ian Durrant, 1 for Gary Holt. Although the first chance of the match, the first good chance in the match, falling to Dunfermline's Andy Todd. First time from Durrant, finding Holt. Gary Holt couldn't control it. Now Johnson. That's for Andy Smith. Wins the header. What a good stop that was from Gordon Marshall. Andy Todd seems certain to score. It wasn't the most wonderful match to watch this, that may be diplomatic from me, but the first half was certainly lit up by Ian Durrant's opening goal. 13 minutes to the whistle when Durrant picked up the ball in the middle of the midfield. He got away from Andy Todd, who was trying to do a tight marking job on the Kilmarnock player. He looked up, he saw Lee Butler a fraction of his line, and he crashed a shot off the underside of the crossbar. That was Ian Durrant's first goal of the season, but it didn't take him too long to make it number 2. Early in the second half, set up by Jérôme Vareille, Durrant darted into the box, and his left foot shot was across Lee Butler and in off the far post. 2 for Durrant, 2 for Kilmarnock, and the second place team in the Premier League at that stage looking very comfortable indeed. Dunfermline will feel they should have pulled a goal back, an Andy Todd header which crashed back off the post, but Kilmarnock got better and better as the match wore on, and Gary Holt, again in a tireless performance from him in the midfield. His goal was down to sheer persistence at the edge of the box. He held off 3 Dunfermline challenges before his shot was deflected off Scott McCulloch and away from Lee Butler and into the corner of the net. So Kilmarnock will have headline makers in Durrant and Holt here today, but again it's their defence which takes a lot of the credit as well. In 16 Premier League matches, the Dunfermline's, Kilmarnock's I should say, miserly defence has conceded just 10 goals. That's behind their successful performances so far this season. Dunfermline 0, Kilmarnock 3.
The top division in the Scottish Premier League, and it confirms, of course, that Kilmarnock have now closed to within 2 points of Rangers. Celtic on the 26 points mark after their 2-0 victory over Motherwell. Let's get some more reaction to that game at East End Park this afternoon. The Kilmarnock manager, Bobby Williamson, now talking to Rob McLean.
Bobby, you've been off your work for the last couple of days, so we're glad you turned up here today.
I'm definitely glad I turned up. It's just the tonic I was looking for. No, it's a great performance, and delighted for the guys. They worked very hard for the result today.
It got better the longer the game wore on for Kilmarnock.
Never started as well as we could have done. We knew Dunfermline always start well. Started well against Hearts last week. They started well today again, and they maybe had a chance of getting a goal, but Big Marshall saved us. Ian Durrant's taken a while to open his account for Kilmarnock, but it was worth waiting, wasn't it? Yeah, a long time in coming. The wee man's been no far away at times, but I'll put it honest on him. I'm telling him to have more strikes a go, and when he can hit a ball like he does, I don't see why he should always have to pass it.
Superb show again from him today. Maybe it's getting boring speaking about Durrant, but he was superb, although there were good players round about him as well.
If he keeps on turning performances like that, I'll never get fed up talking about the guy. No, he's a wonderful talent, but he complements the rest of the team. The rest of the guys are doing a shift, and Durrant is a free spirit. He can go and play. Gary
Holt's goal maybe typifies what he's all about. He got through about 3 challenges.
He's a strong boy. He's a strong boy, and he was determined to get through there, and thankfully he got his just reward.
I was paying tribute in the commentary to your defence as well, because that's 10 goals conceded in 16 Premier League games, which has got to be good going. Yeah,
we work hard at the back lot. We make sure we keep it tight, and we're all well organised, and we know where we should be in certain situations, where the ball should be and things like that. So it's pleasing it's paid off, and Big Marshall's got to take a lot of credit for it, the way he organises his defenders.
Your first win in 4 games, you needed that?
Yeah, I keep hearing that. We were in a bit of a rut there. You've got to remember, we've only lost one in the last 4. So, no, it's great to be out of that rut. Long may the rut continue.
OK, major point. Thanks, Bobby.
Cheers.
On Match of the Day tonight, with action both turbulent as Aberdeen fans demonstrate after the New Firm derby, and trying as Kilmarnock went in search of their first victory at East End Park for over a decade.
Delivered by Johnson. It's off the post. Andy Todd's header. Marshall was beaten.
And with 3 matches from the English Premiership, including Duncan Ferguson's Newcastle debut. Join us tonight, 10:30. How do you scratch a 10-year itch? Killie supporters found out in Fife. Exactly encouraging for Kilmarnock as they set out this morning on the team bus to Fife. The Rugby Parkers hadn't managed a victory in Dunfermline for over a decade. Added to that, Killie's league campaign has stuttered in recent weeks. So if ever there was a time to try and stop the rot, this was it against the side lying bottom of the table. Rob McLean is your commentator at East End Park.
Below par is not a phrase Bert Payton or Dick Campbell would use to describe Dunfermline's performances this season, and they stick with the same team which started last week's defeat by Hearts. Scott Thompson couldn't be considered because of injury. Andy Todd continues in a midfield role which lets him protect the back 4 and get forward to help the attack. Andy Smith wants to start scoring again, and up front with him are new arrivals David Graham and Edinho. Brazilian Edinho scored his first Dunfermline goal at Tynecastle last weekend. He's on loan for 3 months. Would cost around £200,000 to make the move permanent, and scored nearly 70 goals in less than 200 games for Bradford City. The introduction of Mark Reilly for the injured Mark Roberts is the one change from Kilmarnock's team, which drew 0-0 with Motherwell last Saturday. Ali McCoist will start the match on the bench. So it's Paul Wright and Jerome Vareille up front for Kilmarnock. Reilly links up in the midfield with Gary Holt and Ali Mitchell. And the furthest forward of the midfield foursome is Ian Durrant, who's played a big part in Killie's impressive start to the season. Dunfermline will want to keep a close watch on the Scotland midfielder. The referee at East End Park is Gary Mitchell. Kilmarnock start the match, second top against joint bottom. Dunfermline won just 2 matches this season, and in the Premier League, Kilmarnock have lost just 2. But they haven't won in their last 3, and they've had opportunities to get a lot closer to Rangers at the top. A win here today would take them to within 2 points of the leaders, with Rangers involved tomorrow in the League Cup final. There's Scott McCulloch, who's pledged his future immediately, at least, to Dunfermline, despite Aberdeen's interest. First involvement for Durrant, doing well, causing Gavin Johnson problems, right on the byline. Good skills from Durrant, and Johnson had problems here. He was recalled by Scotland for the internationals against Estonia and the Faroes, still very much in Craig Brown's mind. Quickly taken free kick back from MacPherson, and a dangerous shot across goal. It was off target from MacPherson, but it needed just a touch, and then it could have caused Butler problems. Well, talking about fitness doubts, there's one of them. Bobby Williamson has been struggling with flu for the last couple of days, but he's being brave, and he didn't want to miss out on East End Park. David Graham trying to make progress down the right side. First time from Durrant, finding Holt. Gary Holt couldn't control it. Now Johnson. That's for Andy Smith. Wins the header. And what a good stop that was from Gordon Marshall. Andy Todd seemed certain to score. And I spoke right at the start about Todd's keenness to get into the opposition box. Did it with some effect here. What a good save by Marshall at the second attempt. Knocked down by Smith. Steered into the path of Todd, got a good contact, saved by the legs of Marshall. Good recovery from Martin Baker. Neat passing from Dunfermline. Here's Derek Ferguson. Good build-up. Andy Todd beaten in the challenge by Kevin McGowne. Vareille beaten by McCulloch. Edinho leaving it for Andy Todd. A pass ahead of Gavin Johnson. But it gathered pace off the pitch. And Johnson couldn't catch it. Derek Ferguson, lovely back heel for Andy Todd. Here comes Shields. Flighted in for Edinho. Finding some room in the penalty box, but didn't really trouble Gordon Marshall with the header. Well seen here by Shields. You can see Edinho there drifting away from Gus MacPherson. Baker's pass for Vareille does well against Shields. Cleared by Ireland. Paul Wright was waiting in the middle. Tenacious play from Vareille. The odds look to be against him here, but the use of the shoulder to keep away Greg Shields, and turned away by Ireland. In from Durrant. Holt's header. Looping over the crossbar. Didn't get great contact there, Gary Holt. Won the ball well enough. It looks as if it came off his shoulder before dropping over. Holt beat Johnson. Durrant's pass, a good one. Vareille is onside. The cut back. Missing out on Paul Wright. There's a reshuffle in the Dunfermline midfield with Gavin Johnson having moved on to the right side. Here's Andy Todd. Edinho. Headed away by Montgomery. Edinho again. Todd trying to get the head flick. Johnson still has it. Good pass. Here's Edinho, outside of the right foot. Andy Smith couldn't keep the header down. He'll be disappointed with that, Andy Smith. Just 4 goals in 14 starts this season for Andy Smith. His ratio normally a lot better than that. And he would have hoped to have made more of the ball in there from Edinho. McCulloch, Smith, strong with the touch for his Brazilian strike partner. Gary Holt won the ball and was fouled by Johnson. He felt this one, did Holt. Caught on the knee. McGowne's free kick. Nodded away by Todd. Back from Mitchell to Baker. Now Durrant, well-paced pass. Ian Durrant shaping up for the shot! Ian Durrant! It's a super strike from Durrant with just 13 minutes of the first half left. The game needed a moment of magic, let's be perfectly honest, and this was it. The pass from Baker got Durrant away from Todd, well struck outside of the right foot and in off the underside of the crossbar. Not a chance for Lee Butler to stop this. Ian Durrant had one look up, good contact with the shot, perfectly placed. 1-0 Kilmarnock. Montgomery to Reilly. Tenacious player in midfield, Reilly, and getting a good pass away to Ian Durrant as well. Back from Wright. Kilmarnock building a good attack here, through from Durrant and not far away from the feet of Paul Wright. This was good play, clever play through the middle from Kilmarnock. And finally the pass from Durrant, which was just a fraction off for Wright. Here's another look at a spectacular finish from Ian Durrant. What a way to open your account for the season. Baker to MacPherson. 3 minutes now added onto the first 45, and that's enough. And Kilmarnock have the lead at half-time. There's the man who scored the only goal of the game so far, and the game certainly needed it. A spectacular effort from Ian Durrant after Dunfermline had the best early chance of the match, nodded down by Andy Smith, and Andy Todd's shot well stopped by Gordon Marshall. Got his legs to it, but there was no chance for Lee Butler at the other end. When Ian Durrant found some room, he got away from Andy Todd, and a rasping shot off the underside of the crossbar. His first goal of the season for Kilmarnock, and very valuable. Not the most wonderful of games to watch so far, but lit up by that Durrant strike, which means half-time at East End Park. It's Dunfermline 0, Kilmarnock 1. Dunfermline restart the match, looking for a goal to get them back into the game. They've only scored 13 in 15 Premier League matches this season. And they are facing up to the most miserly defence in the top flight in Scotland. Andy Smith winning a header. That was Baker. Reilly to Mitchell. Yes, Kilmarnock have conceded just 10 goals in their 15 league games so far. That's the best defensive record in the league. Durrant's free kick for Holt. Gary Holt again, in for Jerome Vareille. Trying to get himself between two Dunfermline defenders, Shields and Squires, but couldn't get any contact with the header. Good ball in from Holt. Gus MacPherson's header in from Edinho. Now Graham for Greg Shields. It was well hit, and it came off Ray Montgomery for a corner kick. But this was well set up and well hit as well by Shields. Plenty to aim at for Johnson. The flick, the near post was Edinho's. Now Johnson again. Comfortably held by Marshall. McCulloch, Ferguson, he's lost it. And fouled Mark Reilly. Unlike Derek Ferguson to be clumsy with his touch, and he felt forced into that tackle. Durrant to Mitchell. Baker for Vareille. Still has it, Jerome Vareille. Here's Durrant! He's done it again! It's taken him a long time to open his account for Kilmarnock. Now he's made it 2, 11 minutes into the second half. And you can see what that goal means to the Kilmarnock players. Good quick passing through from Baker. Vareille held it up until Durrant made the run in, and the angled shot was across Butler and in off the far post. Good finish from Durrant, and it's 2-0 Kilmarnock. Dunfermline will feel that Vareille might well have been shut down there. He got the pass away, bursting onto it was Durrant. Durrant again, Jerome Vareille on the move. At some pace as well. And it was well stopped and well held by Butler. Early ball through the middle. Vareille with his pace, always having a chance of getting on the end of these. Kevin McGowne won the header well. Jerome Vareille was coming back from an offside position, spotted by Stuart Logan. A French flick. And a corner needlessly given away. And Ray Montgomery holds up the hand of apology to Gordon Marshall. He wasn't really in too many problems here, Montgomery. Delivered by Johnson. It's off the post. Andy Todd's header. Marshall was beaten. And Kilmarnock fortunate that Dunfermline didn't pull a goal back there. So close here for Andy Todd. The goal frame vibrating after that powerful header. And he'll be disappointed he didn't put that in the back of the net. Andy Smith won the header. Here's Hamish French. First time from Derek Ferguson. Edinho. That's a good ball in. Beyond Andy Smith. Flicked away by MacPherson. Johnson to McCulloch. He's overrun it. Now Derek Ferguson. Short with the pass. Kilmarnock have numbers. And they've got pace in Jerome Vareille. Ian Durrant just behind him. Wright and Mitchell waiting in the middle. There's Paul Wright! Touched away by Butler. Close to number 3 for Kilmarnock. Again, superb play here from Ian Durrant. Great vision and great accuracy on the ball for Wright. And the header wasn't half bad either. Paul Wright trying to direct it back over the head of Butler into the far corner. And the keeper did well to touch it over the top. Johnson, French. Here's Edinho, did well. Here's Andy Smith. Saved well by Gordon Marshall. He made that look pretty easy. But it was a powerful header from Smith. Good skill from Edinho in setting it up. And a good stop by the Kilmarnock keeper. Vareille with Shields for company. Left by Wright. And an optimistic attempt at the hat-trick from Ian Durrant. Struck from an angle. But the way things have been going for him so far today, you wouldn't bet against him. Gary Holt away from Petrie. Jerome Vareille trying to time the run, keep himself onside. Now Wright. That's for Durrant. First time the header into the box. It was aimed at Mitchell. Corner kick. Quickly taken by Durrant. Gets it back from Reilly. Now Ali Mitchell. In for Vareille. Here's Gary Holt. Holt still has it. Still Holt. That's a superb goal from Gary Holt. 12 minutes of the match left. The Kilmarnock fans have another goal to celebrate. And that was all about pure persistence from Gary Holt. He refused to be kicked out here. Got through 1, 2, 3 challenges. And his shot took a touch on its way beyond Lee Butler. First, he flicked the ball away from Craig Ireland. Then he got the better of Jamie Squires. And finally, drifting clear of McCulloch, the shot taking a touch off Scott McCulloch. And into the corner of the net. Here's Petrie. Deflected off Mahood. Now French. In from Todd. And Andy Smith. Saved by Marshall. Another chance for Dunfermline. Another chance for Smith. But the header taking a touch on its way through to Marshall. Grim-faced, I think, is the way to describe Bert Payton. It's not been his day, it's not been Dunfermline's day. And they'll stay at the bottom of the Premier League. Not much left now in this match. We've played nearly 2 minutes of stoppage time. Hammered away by Kevin McGowne, and he took a knock in the process. But he'll be keen to hobble on because the whistle will go shortly. Full time at East End Park, and Kilmarnock moved to within 2 points of leaders Rangers in the Premier League, courtesy of a victory which in the end was very comfortable. Man of the match, Ian Durrant, already off. He scored twice. The third Kilmarnock goal scored by Gary Holt. A thoroughly professional performance by Kilmarnock, and while Holt and Durrant will pick up a lot of the headlines, these Kilmarnock fans are very appreciative of the job their defence is doing this season. In 16 Premier League games, they've lost only 10 goals. Final score at East End Park: Dunfermline 0, Kilmarnock 3.
Bobby, you've been off your work for the last couple of days, so we'll be glad you turned up here today. I'm definitely glad I turned up. It's just the tonic I was looking for. No, it's a great performance, and delighted for the guys. They worked very hard for the result today. Ian, you've taken a while to get your first goal for Kilmarnock, but it was worth waiting for.
Yeah, the gaffer's been getting a bit of stick now. Not just the whole team now for not scoring enough goals. I think we've put a lot of onus on the forwards, which is unfair. And
do you feel as if you should be contributing more in that area?
Should the position I play in, I'm given an attacking role, and I've been in a few situations early in the season I've not put away, so I was glad to get that under my belt.
People are expecting a lot of Kilmarnock these days, and they've been talking about maybe a mini slump in the last few games, and that says a lot for the way that things have been going.
Yeah, they're talking about a mini slump, but I think we've only lost one out of the past 8 or 9 games, you know, so if that's a slump, I can take that any day.
Great teamwork, isn't there? Because Ian Durrant grabs headlines a lot, Ali McCoist, Paul Wright, Jerome Vareille, but it's all about a team.
Very much so, very much. It's all about a teamwork, and quite rightly so. Durrant has been getting the headlines because I think he'll admit that he ran the show in the midfield for us today, and it was topped off with a magnificent goal in the first half, and we needed that, and after that it seemed to settle the nerves down a bit, and I felt we were quite comfortable after that.
Bert, I get the feeling you're not too happy.
No, very disappointing performance. A real worry, the performance today. Even though we had a good start, and then Andrew Todd, if a wee bit lucky, if he'd have scored early on, we might have been all right. It might have been a different game, but it wasn't to be. Kilmarnock's a very, very good defensive team. Their defensive record's excellent, and they played very well. They're playing well when they're springing out from the back, so we've got a bit of doing in the end.
I was paying tribute in the commentary to your defence as well, because that's 10 goals conceded in 16 Premier League games, which has got to be good going. Yeah, we work hard at the back lot. We make sure we keep it tight, and we're all well organised, and we know where we should be in certain situations, where the ball should be and things like that. So it's pleasing it's paid off, and Big Marshall's got to take a lot of credit for it, the way he organises his defenders. You can't be faulted for being cautious because you played 3 up.
Yeah. Maybe that's a wee bit foolish in the position we're in, but when we're playing at home we like to get at teams, but you can bet your boots we'll take a serious look at that now.
You have to reconsider and think about playing 4 across the middle.
Yeah, without a doubt, maybe even 5, the way things are going, but the Premier League's very tight, and there's a lot of hitting on the break teams, you know, so we're being a wee bit foolish, I think, but that's the way I like the game to be played, and you know, it's why people like to watch the game, but I'm afraid the entertainment's going out the window from now on.
Well, at least he can smile about it, Bert Payton. Gordon, he did say there was a save that turned the game. To what extent do you think Gordon Marshall's efforts early on inspired Killie?
I think they did. I mean, there's no doubt about it that it was a good opportunity, first couple of minutes, and if they actually get a goal in front, then, you know, it can make all the difference in the world. But, you know, as Bert said there, you know, in the end up they got to do, as he mentioned, but look at this chance here. Andy Todd's done well, done everything right. It's just a good save from Gordon Marshall.
Ah, Neil, good save or bad miss?
It's a good save, it's a very good save. Gets a bit of a break there as it comes off his backside, but the way he's playing, I think he deserves all the luck he's got.
You'd take that one, Neil.
I'll take that one, yeah.
A miserly defence indeed from Kilmarnock. Impressive.
Yeah, I think they're very impressive in defensive. They're almost that back four together for some time now. Baker's come in into the team and done very well too on the left-hand side, but you know, some of the old heads just keep going. Kevin McGowne, Ray Montgomery at the back, tremendous. MacPherson too. So, but it's not just about the defence. Actually, if you watch the midfield play, they worked really hard. I thought Reilly was superb. I watched the whole match, and he had just given that little bit of balance now, just to sit and make passes, simple passes, and that allows Ian Durrant, as he did today, to go and support the front men. And Kilmarnock has a good balance on their side. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is the first goal here. Watch this little pass comes in. Andy Todd commits himself. Ian Durrant takes a touch and just smashes it into the net. I mean, it's a fantastic finish. But considering he hasn't scored for 2 years, I think that's got to be a fluke. If you score all the time like that, you know.
No, Gordon, surely not.
That's a great shot. He's capable of that, Ian Durrant, but certainly, you know, that's a bad record for a midfield player to go as long without scoring. But he followed it up very quickly.
He started this move off actually with a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic Ian Durrant here. We saw him do this in many times in his career. Ball's played to the front man. Look at his little run here, just going to support it. Gets beyond the ball, takes one touch on his left side, right foot first, and the left foot just fires it away in the corner. That was vintage Ian Durrant in his Rangers days. Understanding he used to have Reilly McCoist. Jerome Vareille does well. He works really hard up front. I think he's an excellent front man for them, and he just lays that ball. Ian Durrant has made the move. He got there beyond defenders, and that's clever play.
And he almost made the third, of course.
Yeah, well, you've got to give him credit for his performance all round. He's a man that makes a lot of the passes, but this is a terrific ball to the back post. I think Paul Wright does brilliantly because he's trying to angle a header, a little bit of a dip on it. I'm sure Neil would agree that's a good save.
Yeah, it's a good header, good save. Yeah, very powerful header, and yeah, it gets up and over the bar.
Now, Bert Payton referred earlier in that interview to the fact that he's going to have to change the way he thinks about survival in the Premier League. Did you think Dunfermline had much to offer up front, Gordon?
Well, Bert said no more entertainment. I watched the whole of this match, and I think he made that decision before the game.
Ooh,
because there wasn't a lot of entertainment in it, I must be honest with you. It was a pretty dull match at times. Kilmarnock controlled and played the best football what was there, but it was mainly because Dunfermline couldn't get in the game in the midfield, and they would started to knock long balls up to the front men. And Killie's defence are very, very experienced. McGowne won everything in the air, and you know, Montgomery defending, the two full-backs were tucking in, and Dunfermline just couldn't get going at all. Even though they 3 up, if they did 4 up, because of the service they were getting today, wouldn't have made any difference. Kilmarnock were on top.
Gary Holt managed to kill things off with a pretty special goal, it must be said.
Yeah, he's having a good season, Gary Holt. He merges into this team excellent, and he only takes this one. If anything sums up Gary Holt, this is it. Tenacious midfield, fights for everything. Good little bit of skill at times, gets himself in the break in the box, fires it. The keeper's unlucky, Butler's unlucky because it comes off McCullough. McCullough's tried to block it, but look at this. He keeps going here and he fights very hard for it. He gets 14 touches of the ball, including his hand, fights his way through with a nice bit of skill at the end.
Neil, was there any chance there for Lee Butler?
Not really. I think you can see there just his striking. He's got a little bit of a deflection, and there it goes, just an inch inside in the post there. Very unlucky.
How important, Gordon, was that for Kilmarnock? Because they'd gone 3 games without a victory, and of course they're keeping up the chase on Rangers, of course. Yeah,
well, I mean, they'd been front tonight if they'd had some good results recently. I saw them play against Celtic a few weeks back and they were very impressive. They beat Celtic pretty comfortably, but if they'd kept that going, they would be sitting now in front of Rangers. But they're still putting pressure on them. It's good to see them getting between the old firm as Hearts did last year.
Well, let's take a look at how that result affects the Premier League table then, because Killie moved to within 2 points of off-duty Rangers, while Celtic also keep up the chase thanks to a 2-0 victory over Motherwell. Larson and O'Donnell the scorers there. Aberdeen avoid the bottom spot in the table, but only thanks to a marginally better goal difference than Dunfermline.